Last time, and I apologize, I know we
That's
missed each
okay.
other last time. Mr. Morgan, I'm actually like, if I can defer it, and again, I'll give Mr. Rubin, if you can give Ms. Swan my number, and that way we can have a conversation just to get her plans, but I would hate to make a decision tonight, because I know you're still living in the process.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so if we can just defer it for 90 days until we can create a plan.
About July 2nd.
Right. So by July.
July 2nd
But you won't get another notice. You'll just come back here on July 2nd.
at 5:30, right?
Correct.
All right, thank you.
All right. Please vote.
7-4.
12 is delayed and deferred. 13 is deleted. Number 14, an ordinance ordering demolition authorizing the City of Lake Charles to enter an agreement for demolition of a structure located at 404 South Shattuck Street. Shed only. Sheba Roof Day. Oh, no. Number 11, and I'm going back. An ordinance on the demolition authorizing the City of Lake Charles to enter an agreement for demolition of a structure located at 3301 South General Wainwright. Della Johns Thomas, Terry Glenn Thomas, Kimberly Patrice Thomas Banks.
It's a residential structure, and you can see in the pictures that it has severe roof damage to the structure, exterior wall damage, all exposed in the interior to severe weather damage to the structure, and it is open to the public.
All for the record, photographs of subject property, proof of service through the marshal's office, and certified mail, and this is a rehearing from February 5th.
Got a card. State your name and address for the record.
My name's Barry Thomas. My address is 1201 Belle Ali Lane.
Okay. Brother, Reverend Thomas, what's the plans?
I'm gonna demo the house myself. Yes.
How much time you need?
I haven't done before the end of the month.
Okay. Brother, moment delay.
No more delays. Please vote.
7-4.
That, when you explain moment delay, so
Right, you have 30 days to pull a permit and go up to the 7th floor, pull a permit to do the demolition, and 60 days total from today to have it done.
Okay.
okay.
All right, number 14, an ordinance ordering demolition and authorizing the City of Lake Charles to enter an agreement for demolition of a structure located at 404 South Shattuck Street. Shed only. Sheba Ruth Day and Libby Nicole Day owners. Mr. Hester.
This is a hurricane damaged shed, and you can see in the pictures there's some roof damage, wall damage, all exposed in the interior to severe weather damage of the structure.
All for the record, photographs of subject property and proof of service through the marshal's office.
Trudy Capdeville.
Yes.
State your name and address for the record, please.
Capitol, 1660 Price Street. What is out there is a dog shed. It was a dog house. And it's been there 47 years. So, since this has been brought up, I let my yard man take it down. So there would not be a problem. Sheba Day, Libby are no longer owners of that property. Okay? So, that's it.
I have to ask Mr.
So my suggestion is, and when the pictures were taken, it was not down, my suggestion is to defer it to the next meeting. We'll have Mr. Hester go out and take a look, and if it's been taken care of, we can just delete it.
As a matter of fact, the address that you do have, 404 Shattuck, that is not on the 404 Shattuck. It's on the 1616 Price Street where I live with a house. So I don't know if that makes it different. Anything different? I don't know. Does that?
It doesn't make a difference if it's gone already.
If it's what?
If it's gone already, it doesn't
Well-
make a difference.
Okay, not a problem.
Yeah.
It's not totally gone. There's the poles I kept, and as I said, it was a dog house. Even the guy that came in from the city let you know it was a dog. It's a kennel. So, as a matter of fact, it's all that part is gone. All that is gone.
Okay, Ms. Capdeville, we're going to defer it to the next meeting, so
April 16th,
April 16th, you'll be.
It should be another meeting.
it'll be another meeting, but we'll send, Mr. Hester will go out and take a look, and if it's been removed, then we'll delete it from the
Okay,
agenda.
not a problem. Sounds great. And when will that be?
April 16th, 2 weeks
April
from now.
16th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Please vote. Number 15, an ordinance ordering demolition and authorizing the city of Lake Charles to enter an agreement for demolition of a structure located at 1913 North Lincoln Street. Shirley Byers, senior estate owner, subject to a tax sale to the state of Louisiana. Mr. Hester?
This is a storm damaged residential structure. You can see in the pictures, there's roof damage to the structure, there's exterior wall damage, there's some window damage to the structure, and they all exposing the interior to severe weather damage of this structure.
Offer to the record photographs of such property and proof of service through the marshal's office and certified mail.
Aranda Presley. Please, oh, let me see. This is white, you didn't want to speak. Or did you want to speak?
She was in agreement with it.
Okay. All right.
Right?
Mr. Harvey?
Y'all ain't gonna tear it down?
Yes.
She said she's in favor. Unless you want to come and say it.
It's my first time hearing about the situation.
State your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Yolanda.
Say it again into the mic.
My name is Yolanda Presley. I stay at 1014 West Bertrand Street, Houston, Texas. This is my first time hearing anything about this. This is my first time, March the 23rd, I got the letter.
Okay.
And this is, I don't know nothing else.
So we can defer it, and maybe you have a conversation with city administration. Do you have plans to maybe want to save it or save the property? Or you want to?
If it's left up to me, I don't want nothing to do, because I stay in Houston, Texas.
Yeah, just,
It was
just for
left to,
reference.
it was left to me.
That we served about 15 people. She was just one of them, but yeah, there's a lot of errors that were involved.
We have to, before we make that decision tonight, we have to reach out to all of them to let them know.
We gave them notice. We got 10 in the city limits, and I think 5, including.
Well, I came for mine, so I came from Houston, Texas, so I just want my name.
Does she has the authorization to?
I mean, she can say what she wants, but the others were served and they're not here, so
Okay.
So I
I
want-
recommend normal delays.
I recommend normal.
No more delays, please vote.
7-4.
Number 16. See, what normal delays mean is how many days? Go ahead.
So they have 30 days to pull a permit, 60 days total to tear the house down. If it's not torn down, then the city will do it.
Now, being that they have so many people, if the city tears it down, it's gonna go against
It'll go against the property.
the property.
It doesn't go against her individually, it
Yeah,
goes
go
against the property.
Follow? Okay. Please vote.
7-4.
Number 16, an ordinance ordering demolition and authorizing the city of Lake Charles to enter an agreement for demolition of a structure located at 2116 3rd Street. Owen L. Owens Estate and Rosemary Owens, owner. Mr. Hester.
And this is a residential structure. It's a hurricane damaged structure. It has roof damage, exterior wall damage, window damage, all exposing the interior to severe weather damaged structure, and it was open to the public.
Offer the record photographs of the subject property and proof of service to the marshal's office.
There's no card, Ms. August?
It looks like someone may be here.
Oh, I don't have a card up here. State your name and address for the record.
My name is Marcia Owens Farber. Do I need to give any other information?
Address.
My original address is 210 Lee Street, University Section. I'm having to live with my son due to damages from a situation that took place 4 years ago, right after the storms. It had nothing to do with the storm. It had to do with a company I can't talk about. It took a 4-year-long legal, I'm being careful, a legal situation, and anyway, I guess I give that address. I didn't care for anybody else to know where I live,
That's fine.
because my house has been burglarized 4 times since June at 210. My mother's house at 2116 has been burglarized, the burglar doors and everything. They have absolutely,
That's fine. I don't want you to look at your address is good. What you give, what would you like to see?
I get all my mail still at 210.
Okay.
And there's been conflict after my mother died, and I told her when she wrote up the will, there's going to be war. And it started immediately, if anybody's gone through yet, and you have some people that, like vultures, you know, swarming, and I wasn't gonna get in the middle of conflict.
I understand.
I stayed away, flew under the radar, and I still am. And
Okay,
if there's
so,
somebody interested in wanting to buy it, I want to try to get out what I don't even know what's even left in my mom's house. They took all of the portraits and the oil paintings that my grandfather, E.J. Olivier, so anybody on the lookout for floating oil paintings, he's the one who used to paint all the judges' pictures at the courthouse.
I understand, ma'am.
The stone bench around them,
Yes.
he's the one who made that
Okay.
for our
In regards to this house right here, though, what do you want to see done?
I want to be able to see if I can get out, if there's anything left in the house.
Okay. So you need a little time.
Because I've had 2 deaths besides this lawsuit, and then other proceedings of
Well, let us,
after somebody dies, the crap that goes on with all that.
right. Let
It's
us
a lot.
see. Let us see what we
All
can
at
do.
once.
Let us see what we can do, Ms. Office.
Does the lawsuit prevent you from taking what you need out of the house?
Who's the lady? Where is she talking?
Right.
Oh, okay. I don't have my other glasses.
Okay.
What? Could you repeat that, please?
Does the lawsuit prevent you from going into the house to
No.
take what you need
The
now?
lawsuit was about where I lived at 210, because there's other conflict about that I had gotten from y'all,
Right.
about the pod and God only knows what else, because we couldn't live there anymore.
Right.
And if you've ever had to live off a generator for 1 whole year, and you realize you can't do it, and the neighbors don't appreciate
I
that sound
understand your
24/7.
problem, ma'am. I understand your problem. I really do. It's not unique to what's been going on with
And this
with
was not
properties.
storm stuff.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
was
But the
electrical.
thing that's bothering is the growth of trees and down trees. What do you plan to do about that?
Well, I didn't know there were any down, at which, at
Look,
2116?
At 2116.
I didn't know that there was, because I haven't been able to get anybody to go with me over there.
Well,
I'm
just
by
look right
myself.
there and you can see, look up there.
There is a lot of property standards issues on this property.
I've talked to,
Uh-oh.
I've talked to Mr. Hester years ago in the past, so, wherever he is. Okay. So, yeah, somebody has, absolutely, they even took the countertop, because this is very old wood that had originally been Davidson's Ashton door. So if anybody's interested in buying the old salvage wood, contact
Let me explain something to you, man.
Okay.
We're here today to see what you want to do about this property. Do you need more time?
I do need more time.
Okay.
Because I sent out information to the remaining survivors, my brother and the 2 offspring and whoever. No communication.
Okay.
I tried to get the ball rolling in the very beginning, and it was demanding what they thought they should get.
Okay. Well, let's see what Miss August wants to work out with you, so we can.
I appreciate it.
Are you going through succession or anything?
I haven't, I've had to hide the will because they were trying to get a copy of it before it could ever even be filed, and I said, you can't do that.
Mr. Morgan, let's defer this until, this is March, till the June meeting. If she's got to go through succession, and we really need to emphasize the property standards problem that exists on the problem, on the
I have
property right
paid
now.
the city every time
No, this
over
is
the
more than,
years to,
ma'am, this is more than just cutting the grass. It
Okay.
has to do with the down trees and the fallen trees, it has to do with that. And Mr. Hester, you said there was more problems with it,
It's also open to the public, so there's people
so
going.
the house needs to be boarded up.
Well, there were burglar bars on it, and from what I understand, all that at the back has been destroyed to get into the house.
Well, you just get you some plywood and put it up, very solidly so that nobody can't, they'd have to pull it real hard to get it up, but it has to be closed. The house definitely has to be closed to the
I just
public.
needed somebody to go with me over there.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
nobody
Well,
escalated.
you deferred until June. June what, 19th?
June 4th.
June 4th. Your case has been deferred until June 4th. This is April, so you got all of April, all of May until June.
No,
To
thank
get
you so
someone to go
much.
with you.
I greatly appreciate it.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
I need your prayer list for all of you.
Deferred till June what, 4th again?
June 4th.
June 4th,
Fourth.
please vote.
7-4.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it.
17 has been deleted. Number 18, an ordinance ordering demolition and authorizing the city of Lake Charles to enter an agreement for demolition of a structure located at 607 8th Street. Alice Fenton Riley Richard, owner. Mr. Hester?
This is a storm damaged residential structure, and you can see in the pictures there's severe roof damage, exterior wall damage, window damage, all exposed to the interior to severe weather damage of the structure. It is open to the public, and there is property standards issues.
Often to the record, photographs of subject property and proof of service through certified mail.
There's no cards. Mr. Harvey?
15.
15, please vote.
7-4.
Number 19, an ordinance ordering demolition and authorizing the city of Lake Charles to enter an agreement for demolition of a structure located at 601 8th Street. Alice Fenton Riley Richard, owner. Mr. Hester?
And this is another hurricane damaged structure. It's a residential structure. There's severe roof damage to the structure, exterior wall damage, window damage, all exposed in the interior to severe weather damages of the structure, and it is open to the public.
Often to the record, photographs of the subject property and proof of service through certified mail.
No card. Mr. Harvey?
15.
15, please vote.
7-4.
Number 20 has been deferred to May 7th, 2025. Number 21 has been deleted. Ordinances for final action. Number 22 is deferred without a date at this time. Number 23, an ordinance for consideration to amend the official zoning map of the city of Lake Charles in order to establish the Rhine Street Overlay Historic District as established by the National Park Service, National Register of Historic Places. Any comments? Questions? Please vote.
7-4.
Number 24, an ordinance enlarging the boundaries of the city of Lake Charles, Louisiana by annexing property generally described as 50 by 150, more or less section of OJ Road at the intersection of Benoit Road containing .17 acres more or less, defining with certainty and precision the territory to be included in the corporate limits of the city of Lake Charles, Louisiana, and otherwise providing with respect thereto. Any questions or comments?
I do.
Ms. Owens.
50 feet by 150 feet is really an average lot. So all the surrounding lots within.
This is not even a lot. We brought in some property all around on the road, but we didn't bring the road in.
Okay.
So we're just basically capturing the corner of OJ and Benoit roads
Okay.
to square off the city limits.
All right, that makes sense. Thank
So
you.
that's become a right of way.
Yeah.
It's a road,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Please vote.
7-4.
Number 25, an ordinance assigning Councilmanic District G to a 50 by 150 more or less section of OJ Road at the intersection of Benoit Road containing .17 acres more or less, defining with certainty and precision the territory to be included in the corporate limits of the city of Lake Charles, Louisiana, and otherwise providing with respect thereto. Please vote.
7-4.
26, an ordinance assigning zoning classification of the residential to property generally described as a 50 by 150 more or less section of OJ Road at the intersection of Benoit Road containing .17 acres more or less, defining with certainty and precision the territory to be included in the corporate limits of the city of Lake Charles, Louisiana, and otherwise providing with respect thereto. Please vote.
7-4.
27, an ordinance for consideration to amend the official zoning map from a residential zoning district to a mixed-use zoning district companion with a major conditional use permit in order to convert an existing residential structure into an office building with an accessory shop and shed at 6706 Big Lake Road. Any questions or, we got some
Several
people want to
comments.
speak. Number 27, Larry Thomas. Oh, Lauren, go ahead.
If it's okay, I'll just read our planning staff findings for y'all. The on-site and site plan reviewed revealed the applicant is requesting to amend the official zoning map from a residential zoning district to a mixed-use zoning district, companion with a major conditional use permit in order to convert an existing residential structure into an office building with an existing accessory shop and shed for commercial contracting office. The property will need to meet all development standards, including but not limited to parking standards, landscaping, and fencing requirements as outlined in the zoning ordinance. This was a previously annexed property that we're just changing the zoning to from residential to mixed use.
And did they have the recommendation of the planning?
Oh, yeah, sorry. It was approved 3-2. 3 for, 2 against.
Okay, we have Mr. Larry Thomas. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Larry Thomas, 5 River Lane, 70605 Lake Charles. I had to write a few things down so I don't wander off, but we came here and it was approved through the zoning board. And at the zoning board meeting, there was some opposition from the lady, and our major concern then was the traffic that it might cause, like everybody, when you do a commercial business. But we have right now at Great Plantation there, they have a turnaround coming from Ham Reed Road all the way to the turnaround there, which will take most all the traffic away. That Big Lake Road also has 2 other major roads that relieve traffic. You got Goche right next to the subdivision, and then you got Country Club Road the other way. And the traffic will probably, when they get the turnaround in there, ease everything going to the right, because you got Goche Road. And the Graywood that's going out that way will come out Goche. There's no reason to come back this way. I didn't see a big problem with the traffic, with the availability of what's there compared to a lot of other places that do commercial businesses. Also, there's a big percentage. I had it all written down, but I don't want to go through all of that because, just to let y'all know, but there's a tremendous amount of real estate on there that's already zoned commercial. The problem that Big Lake contains right now is I came down today to find out what was residential and what was commercial, because it just was just mixed on both sides of the road. Some of it's in the city, some of it's in the parish. So it created a little problem trying to come up with a game plan. But one thing I did was across the street is in the parish, and there's 5 commercial businesses, and they're all zoned commercial, and it's a state highway. It's going, it's just going to be some problems. But one of the things I'm going to close out real quick here, because it's almost time. But I'd really like to answer any questions, because at the zoning meeting, I had one of the residents came in and she had some problems and complaints, and I listened to them. That's why I did this stuff on the traffic. I'd like to answer any questions, because I haven't had a question from anybody from the property behind me at all with the sign out there to even let me know that there would be, as much opposition, even with that lady. So, do y'all want me just to continue now as far as just answering their questions, or let them just come up and I'll answer them?
What's going to happen, Mr. Thomas? We're going to let anybody in opposition speak, and we direct it to the council. And then once we get all that information in, you can come back up and we can ask you.
Sounds great.
All right. Nadine Kruger. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Nadine Kruger, 6780 North Banbury Road. So we're at the property which is directly behind this property. I think one of our major concerns is that making it a commercial property, we are concerned with the property value of our property. When we purchased the property, it was already overvalued because of the boom it's in Lake Charles. We purchased in 2014, and we have got a major concern that by making this a residential property, it's going to lower the value of our property. The other concern that we have is in terms of the privacy. Unless Mr. Thomas goes and puts fences or something around the property, our whole front yard is open to his property. It's been an eyesore in the past. I think it's probably the previous owner, I'm not sure if it's in, where the lawn wasn't cut and things like that. But if he's going to be using the property for storage of materials, storage of any construction equipment, it's going to be a major eyesore for us. Also, maybe the noise levels. We don't know about the noise levels that's going to be caused there, as well as bringing other people into the area, which might be, not so. We don't really want people there that's going to come into our residence or into the subdivision and cause a safety or security risk for us.
Thank you, ma'am. Michael B. Lewis. State your name and address for the record.
My name is Michael D. Lewis, 3626 East Banbury Road, Lake Charles, Louisiana, 70605. My residence is in Buccaneer Acres, just due east of the said property. My concern is, and we've got quite a few residents here from the neighborhood, is accessory shop and shed, maybe use the rezoning from the parish to the city. Why to do this to the city in order to make a city property? Because we have commercial across the street. There's a Dollar General store. They're in the parish. They're not in the city. He's the only property on that side of the road that's in the city for quite a while. There is one property across the street from him that's in the city. Don't know how long it's been annexed into the city. But, one thing, I don't know what the regulations are for the city for a construction company to have mixed conditional use and accessory shop and shed. Is that something that he's going to use the existing shed that's there? Is he going to build something else? Is he going to cover the whole property with the equipment and construction material? I'm not sure what type of business he's in. Is he going to build something? Any building would have to go through the city permit use approval. I suppose, Mark, is that correct? That's your area. Do you have anything to add to?
Yes, Mr. Eckert would have the opportunity to speak.
Oh, okay.
Speak.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
So I'm just concerned is the neighborhood in Buccaneer Acres, the residential. What are the rules and regulations that he would have to abide by? Again, it went from parish property to city. Is he going to get city utilities? Is that why that was done? I don't know. I wasn't involved in that. There are properties along there that are still within the parish that that are not in the city, and they're being developed under parish guidelines. So I just don't want to leave them open guidelines to where he can do anything he wants to do, because I don't know what the guidelines are.
Right.
And I don't know if the other neighbors know what those guidelines are as well. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Appreciate you.
Yes.
Chad Hickenbottom. Come to the. Oh, you did not wish to speak. My bad. You. Thank you. I want to go on the record. Mr. Hickenbottom is in opposition. Also for Mr. Russell Lejeune, he's in opposition. He does not wish to speak. We got Mary Kennison. State your name and address for the record, Ms. Kinnison.
Mary Kennerson, 6820 North Vanbury Road. I do have a petition.
Yes, ma'am.
That's in that.
Yes, ma'am.
I attended the last meeting, which was the planning and zoning. Prior to that, there was the meeting that was held to which allowed the property to be annexed into the city limits. We saw the sign there on Big Lake, but as he said, traffic is very heavy on Big Lake. It's not a problem for us, and so on. But because we didn't get any notice, we would have had to go to the sign, and I did the first time, but it was one day before the meeting. I couldn't make it and didn't have time to let the neighbors know, and so on. The second meeting, 2 people in our subdivision, that's the planning and zoning, received a notice of the meeting, so I attended the last meeting. And this meeting, I think I had 3 people that had received. We're in the Buccaneer Acres subdivision. There are approximately 40 houses in the subdivision. All of that area is residential. From there's a storage business, and then there's the roundabout that's coming at the entrance of Graywood. On that east side, from that point all the way to Goche Road, which is about 1.5 miles, it's residential. All the way back to Nelson Road, all of that is residential. And most of it, I sent a map around. As you can see, the white area there, that's the Buccaneer Acres subdivision plus additional amounts. It's all, it's in the parish, just that one. Our major concerns, and I do see the sign for the time, is what it's going to do to our property values if this happens. It kind of slipped up on us, not that we would not have been here, but we didn't know what was going on until actually this week, and so on. So property values are a major concern for us. Curb appeal. You know, people don't go around driving around looking for property anymore. They go online. You pull up Buccaneer Acres, and I did send the houses and so on. Look at the houses that are there. If you see a business in the middle, and it is in the subdivision, the business that he's asking to have it rezoned for is in Buccaneer Acres subdivision. So if you see a business in the middle of a subdivision, I wouldn't go any farther than that. And so on. So those are the things that we are really concerned about. That on the west side of Big Lake.
Time, Ms. Kinnison, would you like more time?
Yes, please.
Would like to give Ms. Kinnison 2 more minutes. That'd be good.
That'd be good. Yes.
Please vote.
7-4.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
On the west side of Big Lake Road, there's major development all along that west side, and it's all business. On the east side, there's probably one of the last developmental things that's going to happen, because for that 1.5 miles from Goche Road all the way back to the entrance to Graywood, there's one area open, and it's just been developed into lots that are for sale for building very expensive houses, a part of it, and then the remaining part will be, they're selling it off to have moderately nice houses built, but all residential also. So, you know, the fact that this one property will change things for the entire area, definitely for our subdivision, because it's in the subdivision. Let's see, I have things written down. I think that's it for now.
Okay, thank you, Ms.
Well, I
Kinnison.
have another opportunity after, back up.
Well, it depends on what's being said. You come back up.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Eck,
Couple of questions. Ms. Vine, if you might, could you enlighten us on what the requirements will be for if this gets zoned mixed use, what he would have to do between on his property?
So the
as far
development-
as developmental standards?
Yes, the development standards would require a 6-foot wood privacy fence on any property line that abuts residential. There would be a 15-foot buffer yard requirement where there could be no building, no parking, no storage, no any commercial intrusion, and it has to be planted. There's a tree planting requirement with that. So that's going to be on any property line that would abut a residential use. There also is landscaping requirements. There will have be parking requirements, things like that. So all development standards at this time, the applicant is not requesting any deviations from our typical normal development standards.
May I ask a question? Can you explain the buffer yard?
Yeah, the buffer yard is just going to be 15 feet on any a property line that abuts another residential use. It's going to be 15 feet where there is no, I mean, they can't put a dumpster, they can't put any parking, they can't put any building, they can't put a shed, they can't put any storage of materials, nothing. It has to be green, remain green, and be planted with trees. And it's 1 tree per 40 feet.
So just for clarification, as an example, the house sits in the middle. On the east, west, north, and south, wherever there's another resident, it has to be a 6-foot fence.
A 6-foot wood privacy fence, yes.
And from that privacy fence, the property for 15 feet in,
correct,
nothing can be placed in there.
Correct.
Equipment that can be stored in.
Nothing, not even a trash can. It has to be no pad to put a trash can on, no pad to store equipment, nothing, no storage of equipment. Nothing can be in that. The buffer is to retain that kind of distance between a residential property and a commercial property.
And just for clarity, you were saying nothing can be put in that buffer area, but within past that buffer at 16 feet, they can put whatever they want to put.
Correct. And anything else that they would construct would come through our office for a permit.
Landscaping, you pointed out some landscaping requirements. Could you go into that in a little bit of detail?
The frontage, other than the buffer yard landscaping, the frontage to Big Lake Road is going to have a tree requirement as well. 1 tree, 1 Class A tree per 40 feet, or 2 Class B trees per 40 feet of frontage. Any area where there is going to be parking has to have a hedge wall that buffers that from Big Lake Road. And there's another like 15% of it has to be like a living landscape. There are other requirements too, but those are usually the typical, the big ones. The tree requirement, and then making sure that the parking is mitigated if that happens between the building and the road.
So based on this map that's on the screen, he would be required to have fencing 3 sides. Am I reading that correct?
Correct.
At least 6 foot.
Anything else, Mr. Eckert?
I have a question for Mr. Thomas.
If you don't mind, Mr. Eckert, Ms. Kennison wants to speak again. I want to get all the questions that they may have, so when Mr. Thomas come up, he can address those questions. Is that all right? Okay.
Ms. Kennison?
Kennison?
She has 52 seconds.
You have 52 seconds.
Basically what do I need to name and address again?
No, you good.
If this should happen, if this should be approved, then we would like to see some additional stipulations, some changes to what she just said. For example, most subdivisions, when you have businesses separating your subdivisions, you have fences that are taller than 6 feet. Fences. So that's one of the things. Heavy equipment, it is my understanding that from what she just mentioned, I guess I call it a setback, the 15 feet and so on, but past that setback, she said you can put anything there. So we would like to stipulate that no heavy equipment be, it's more than 3 acres, maybe 4 acres of land, and so on. Because it's in the subdivision, because it would be a business in the subdivision, we would like to stipulate no heavy equipment. If it's just an office, as it was stated in the description, an office building with storage. Didn't specify at all. We want to specify no heavy equipment.
Time.
Okay. Good?
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Thomas, if you don't mind coming back up. Mr. Eckert?
Quick question, Mr. Thomas. It's my understanding you're gonna take the current residence and convert that to
I
the
have
office.
pictures to show.
Right, so you're taking that house and making that the office, is that correct? So you're not building another office or tearing that down and making an office? So it's the current house, that's correct?
Right.
Would you be opposed to the higher fence requirement? Would an 8-foot fence be asking too much? Since you gotta do 6 foot anyway.
But, okay, the problem I disagree with, I do anything for the community, because I live in a community and we have rules and regulations. The thing is though, it's like, I can't do this and I can't do that. We're gonna have a contracting company and I'm gonna do all the setbacks.
Right.
In fact, in y'all's neighborhood, I own all the way back to the utility pole that's next door to the house, Miss Kennison's, I think it's in the front. But they have a cul-de-sac that my property butts up to the cul-de-sac, and all the right-of-ways in there are their 2 driveways. So I could still put fences up, but I was even going to make a section there if nobody's talked to me, so I don't, but I've already walked that area, looked at it. I don't mind putting up a nice area, because I have pictures of what they see when they get out of there. When you come out of their driveway, they have, across the street is all commercial, but it's the parish did that. All brand new buildings in the last couple years. And I'm for that in the back, because when you go in the cul-de-sac, I drove it several times to see. And when I drove it, I noticed that you could put a house on my property in that cul-de-sac. But I don't mind putting the fence to break that with a garden. I don't have to keep it up, because I'm not that way. I'm not good at that. But I would do that if the neighborhood wanted to keep it. I will work with them. The value is not going to go down because of a commercial street that everything's going up on. The reason I incorporated into the city was because I have other properties that I brought into the city on Big Lake Road. I've had several properties. And I want to be able to get to the utilities down the road like everybody else, and even anybody wants those utilities from the city. All the residential stuff that we're talking about was going back to Nelson Road. Well, Nelson Road's going away from Big Lake Road. You know what I'm saying? So I've already walked that deal. There's probably 15 sections that's residential, because it's either agriculture, they're doing stuff there across the street. But anyway, I'll cut this short, but I don't have a problem. But I'd like to, I just don't know, it's hard to sit here and say, whatever they want, I'll do. And I'm trying to start a company, but I do want to work with them. I will do anything. I could sit down with draw plans. I got to go through the city on all these rules and all. I understand, so I don't have a problem with it, and I could go to 8 feet, but where do we end? I mean, right now I got a contractor's business, and she don't want no heavy equipment, don't want this there. Well, I mean, that's going a little bit too far as what I can give if I'm even gonna go commercial. Push it.
Well, I'm understanding what they're asking. They have concluded that this might pass, but they would like at least a fence tall enough in the setback, and which will hide anything you're going to have the right to put back there what you want anyway. But they're just asking for a higher fence than 6 feet. And I think they can live with that, and that's what I think I've heard.
What about the 6-foot fence that they have already on their property that goes all the way down? Do I have to put another fence up behind that one, all the way down, or can I use that fence?
I don't know about that part. I'm just saying what they're asking you to do.
Okay. That's fine.
Excuse me?
Did you get your answer?
Well, could you live with the 8 foot, I think it was 8 foot fence?
If I could add on to their 8 feet, but I don't want to build it.
But I don't-
I'm 400 and some feet behind there, and
Well, I'm trying to decide which way I'm gonna vote on this. So I'd like to hear you, work with the people.
I am going to work with people.
Okay.
But I mean, if that's what I have to do, I mean,
I'm thinking-
I will do it. But is that where it stops? Like tomorrow, can they come up and tell me I can't do this on my
That's where
own
it stops.
commercial property?
That's
Okay,
where
well,
it-
that's not a problem.
That's
And I will even help them over on that corner because their subdivisions are beautiful subdivision.
Could you have a problem with the?
That cul-de-sac.
Okay, I would recommend at this time that the 8 foot fence be included in the setback. I think that's a fair compromise with the neighbors because they have to live with this and buy this. So I think that compromise would work out. So,
Mr. Eckert,
that's all I have to say.
are you all right with it including that?
Yeah, that's, thank you, Mr. Guillen. I was going to stipulate that we put an 8-foot fence instead of the 6, as a condition of being
We're
reasonable.
going out with a
We're
bang.
going out together, right,
I
Mr. Guillen?
have one question for Ms. Lauren, from Ms. Thomas, from Mr. Thomas. Lauren, he posed a question about what could he do with the fence that's already there? Is there any ramifications for him or any leeway for him, being that that's their fence? Does he have to put up another fence, or can that suffice?
It can suffice if that's what, but ultimately, if something comes through and blows down their fence, he is responsible for replacing that fence.
And
The responsibility of the fence is on him.
But if their fences are 6 feet, then he's gonna have to build his own 8 foot fence.
Correct.
Well, that's what I was gonna come back to, if it's all right with Mr. Eckert. Would the community be willing to make a concession and say, okay, that fence is already there. He's gonna put 8 feet on the sides and they use the fence that's already there? Or will those 2 feet, go ahead, Mr. Thomas.
Right now, in front of the property we're talking about, there's a storage building right off of that that's probably 30 feet high by 60 feet long, right there in their back, right there next to the fences. You see what I'm saying? So there hadn't been a big, yeah, you see it on the, it's not like, that 2 foot across there is gonna make a big difference, but I'll do it. But it's just when you add a 400 foot of 8 foot fencing, just for, and it's just an extra on there, I'll do it because
Let me, point of clarification.
I can tell you that the property by the cul-de-sac, right down here, where the North Banbury starts, that fence is not 8 feet, so it would be a new fence, would be required. I'm just doing street view, that fence is probably 6 feet tall.
But if I'm not mistaken, in the back of his property,
it's 6 foot.
it's 6 foot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It would require, if y'all put a stipulation of 8 feet, it would require that he build a new 8 foot fence.
Even if the community agreed to keep it 6 back there?
Yeah, I mean,
I would feel better if he had his own fence.
Okay.
Let's keep it clean.
All right. Do we have to make an amendment to this with the 8 foot?
you'd put it as a stipulation
We'll put it
that
as
you're
stipulation.
approving it, and I would also say if he has a commercial use, I mean, if he decides that he's not going to do that in the future, it is rezoned. If he ever wants to do commercial use, that's a requirement, is that he add 8 foot fence.
Okay. You understand?
'Cause I don't think it's being used commercially right now.
No.
Right. And so he may decide that he doesn't want to use it commercially in the future. I'm just saying, it's a stipulation that he has to build an 8 foot fence if he has a commercial use.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'll ask Ms. Bynum, does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay, so for the record, we're going to make a stipulation to this proposal that an 8 foot fence be added on all 3 sides.
Even on the sides, besides the,
But it has to-
all the way to the road.
I think you're abutting on both sides residential, so it would be all 3 sides. And there are requirements for the road. Ms. Bynum would have to.
If the neighbors don't need the 8 foot fence, because I think they want to go commercial too down the road sometime, do I have to put the 8 fence up
Yeah, our development standards require that if you're abutting a residential as a commercial use, you have to put the fence there.
So the stipulation states that an 8-foot fence has to be put on all 3 sides of the property, abutting up to residential, correct?
Correct.
Everybody good? No questions? Please vote.
7-4.
All right. The following resolutions may be adopted by consent. Anybody got anyone they want to pull? 30?
Is that an amendment?
Oh,
Oh, we voted on the amendment?
right.
Okay, that was on the amendment. Vote as amended.
7-4.
Number 30 has been pulled. Anybody else? Okay. Number 30 has a hearing date of April 16, 2025. A resolution setting date for public hearing on alteration of a shoreline of Calcasieu River to install and backfill a bulkhead at 591 River Road. Mr. Harden?
Is this in relation to the complaints from the citizens on River Road, or is this something that's been planned?
I believe this is related to the Hortman Ferry properties. I don't recall any complaints about this one.
Okay. Number 28, a resolution authorizing the City of Lake Charles to apply for a grant from the Louisiana Land and Water Conservation Fund for the extension of the lakefront boardwalk, and if awarded and accepted, authorizing matching funds. 29, a resolution accepting project number DR016, Lock Park Restoration, Demolition, and Replacement as substantially complete, and authorizing advertising of the 45-day lien period. Number 30, hearing date of April 16, 2025. A resolution setting date for public hearing on alteration of the shoreline of Calcasieu River to install a backfill and bulkhead for 591 River Road. 31, a resolution authorizing the City of Lake Charles to advertise for requests for qualifications for professional services for CDBGR DR Railroad Avenue Revitalization Project.
That was deferred without date.
Okay, 31 was deferred. 32, hearing date for May 7, 2025, correct? A resolution setting date for public hearing and consideration of the Lake Charles Planning and Zoning Commission's decision to deny a request for a major conditional use permit in order to construct a drive-through restaurant with a mixed-use zoning district at 3760 Nelson Road. 33, hearing date of April 16, 2025. A resolution setting date for public hearing and consideration of the Lake Charles Planning and Zoning Commission's decision to deny a request for variance in order to, 1, establish a massage therapy business within 300 feet of a residential zoning district. 2, allow reduction of front and side landscape buffer yard areas in order to provide required parking within a mixed-use zoning district at 4021 Nelson Road. Please vote.
7-4.
The following ordinances are for introduction by consent and will be read into the record the day following this meeting at 1 p.m. in the City Council chambers in City Hall. This meeting is adjourned.